Welcome back to another episode of The Winner's Culture, where we like to highlight people's journey to success instead of the glory that is often shown. Y'all know who it is. Just Daryl. 1 R, 1 Y, 1 L. Do not mess that up. I'm here with my host to the left.
Hey, y'all. It's Bondi.
And then to the right.
It's just JJ.
And then today, as always, special guest, season 2. Nothing less than special for y'all. This woman does, I'm going to say a little bit of everything, but we're going to get into that today. We got Sahnaiyyah with us. How you feeling today?
How y'all doing? I'm feeling good.
What's popping, player?
How y'all feeling?
We doing all right.
Good.
You feel what I'm saying?
I ain't got no complaints today.
How was y'all day today?
It was busy, man.
It was busy?
Yeah, it was busy. But it was good. You know what I'm saying? Nice weather. It's about to get cold, so
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I wanna start this episode with like a shout out to you because like you taught me how to make reels and I made 12 of them today and like that means I'm like halfway a video editor. So
Shout
like,
out to you,
12
but it's
really
really about
crazy.
him.
You feel what I'm saying? I'm trying to add everything to the resume. Like you,
No,
like the
for
same
sure.
way you're drawing, like we was looking at your drawing, like what do she not do? That's how I'm trying to be. You feel what I'm saying?
That was a crazy shout out because you only talked about yourself.
Did I shout myself out?
He said, shout out to you. I made 12 reels today.
He really did. It's all good. No, he said I showed
you gotta show yourself some love.
I showed him how to do it, but yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He got
so,
right to it.
Yeah. Let's get into it, man. We can't waste no time. So, Sahnaiyyah, can you tell us about where you from, who you are, what you do?
I feel like I'm from everywhere, man.
There you
Like,
go. I told you a little bit of everything.
growing up, my family, we pretty much moved all over the place. But I say I'm from West Philly.
Okay.
That's where my grandparents lived all my life. And growing up, that's where I spent a lot of like my childhood at.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in a house, me and all my cousins. But as far as like what I do, I'm a licensed real estate agent in the state of Pennsylvania. I'm also the president of a nonprofit called YCMB, where we encourage today's youth to be tomorrow's leaders. And I'm also with WSE. The Wolf Has Spoken, the first black author from the relationship author from the hood. My personal mentor, my personal life coach. I'm his personal assistant. So yeah, that's a little bit about
like I
me.
said, the resume stacked up. You know what I'm saying? So what I want to know is like, how did you choose what you was going to get into? Like how did that go? Did you get into something first and then it led to something else, or you just did whatever you wanted?
So, all right. So, originally, I didn't really feel like I always had a choice in what I wanted to do. Nobody in my family went to college.
Wow.
So I had that pressure of like, I have to go to college. Like, I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And it was all the way down to the point where, like, I felt like I was being pressured on, like, what I needed to major in school. My family wanted me to go to school for criminal justice. And that's exactly what I did. A lot of people might say I'm crazy. I got a full ride to Temple University and I dropped out.
Talk heavy.
But I was miserable. Like, it wasn't my calling. And I remember, like, sitting down on my bed crying. I could not stop crying. I was so miserable. And it got to a point where I'm like, I have to talk to my mom. So I sat down with her. I talked to her. I said, listen, like, this is not for me. I said, but I have a plan. And I did. At the time, I had got a job at the post office because I felt like it was a good job to have. Like,
Right.
and I was like, I'm going to go to school to get my license in real estate. And that's exactly what I did. Wow. So it pretty much went from there for real. When I had just got into real estate, I saw Wolf. He had actually posted something on Instagram where he said he was looking for interns. And I'm like, I'm new in this world of business. Like, I don't really know much. And I know, like, I was on, like, YouTube just looking up, like brand new real estate agents, like, just tips and stuff that they would give. And a lot of people said, like, you need to get a mentor. And I know with, like, being in real estate, like, nothing is free. You want a mentor, you got to pay for it. So I'm like, okay, he's looking for mentors. Like, of course, it's not in direct correlation with real estate, but this is somebody who's been in business for over a decade. So I'm like, it's not in direct correlation with real estate, but if I'm looking for somebody to show me, like, the ins and outs of business, this is the perfect person. So I submitted my resume. He ended up getting back to me about an interview, and it pretty much went from there. I started out as an intern, worked my way up as his personal assistant.
Wow.
That's fire.
Yeah, so yeah.
Was real estate like your passion? Like, did you know in school like the plan was I'm gonna sell these houses?
It's crazy because, like, when I was a kid, I had this weird fascination with, like, abandoned houses. Like, I would, like, stop and, like, stare at like abandoned houses in my neighborhood all the time. And it's crazy because like a lot of those same abandoned houses that I would see as a kid, like they're still abandoned to this day. So originally, like I really wanted to get into real estate as like a real estate investor.
Okay.
But that's not really the path that I went down. It's definitely still written in the books for me. But I experienced some pretty crazy things growing up. I experienced homelessness, and even with like renting houses and shit. Ooh, can you curse on here?
You cool.
Go ahead, we all good.
Even with like renting houses and shit like that, like these landlords be slummy, like
For sure.
So I need to get my license, like, and that's what I did.
Right. So when you chose criminal justice, like why was that? What you was about to do with that?
Well, like I mentioned, like that was what my family wanted me to do.
Okay.
I didn't really care to do that. But when you live in your life trying to make other people happy, like you'll never be happy. Like you'll never win. So it got to a point where I'm like, I need to stand up for myself and I need to do like what truly makes me happy.
I'm gonna keep it real. You might have gave us like enough content for the whole rest of the joint in like 2 minutes just in like 2 minutes just now. Like that was heavy. Like it was a lot going on.
No, I appreciate that.
So clearly it was a lot going on. So with all these different responsibilities, like how do you juggle it? How do you feel what I'm saying? What's the balance look like for you?
It's crazy because when I was in high school, right, I was always like a straight A student, like head in the books, like, you mean? But one of the things that my high school counselors taught me is that like when colleges look at you, they look for well-rounded students. Right. They want to see that you're involved in community. They want to see what you do outside of just going to class. So I got involved with I applied to the National Honor Society. I was accepted into that. I became a Griffin ambassador. I ran track. I was a youth advocate in this program that we had called Youth Court. Like I did a lot, all while maintaining a 9-to-5, and I feel like a lot of that, like juggling multiple roles, that carried over from high school for real. I'm only 20. I just graduated from high school 2 years ago, so I feel like it wasn't really hard for that skill set to really carry over. It was already something that I was used to, so it's not super hard, like balancing everything, especially when the things that you're doing are in alignment with each other, and they're in alignment with like what you want, what you're striving to be, and like and your purpose.
Wow. Yo,
so
this is a podcast, and
You
and
only 20?
I'm only 20.
Like,
I would clap right now, but like I'm not gonna clap because that's inappropriate. But like,
no, it's appropriate.
You can give me snaps or
Right.
something. Like, let me get some
I'm
snaps.
gonna give you some snaps. Go ahead.
I would have never been able to even
guess
guess
that you were 20. Because you just sound so mature, and not even to sound cliche, but like, you know, you
Right.
just carry
You
yourself
carry
with
yourself
such
as-
grace and
Yeah,
like
for sure.
such authority.
Right.
Yo,
And
I don't mean to cut y'all off, but when you go through certain shit, like it make you grow up a little bit. It really do. Yo, I don't got time to play around. I got shit to do.
I was gonna say when you told your folks that you know your decision to drop out of school, what was their response like?
I felt a sense of disappointment.
Yeah.
Even though my mom, like, she told me like she was okay with it, I felt it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, nobody in my family went to college, and that's kind of what they held over my head to even like try to encourage me to go. Like nobody think you gonna be shit. You know, coming from where you come from, like you got to do this for us, basically. Like they try to make it seem like you doing it for the whole family, for real. But I'm like, I'm not living for these people. Like if you wanted to go to school, you would have went to
should've did
school. Like why I gotta go to school because you ain't go? Like I don't. You mean I'm gonna be good? I know what I want to do. So, but I definitely felt like that sense of disappointment, even though everybody, you know, try to make it seem like it wasn't that deep.
Right. So I want to ask everybody, like, do y'all feel like it's just a our generation thing where everybody does everything, or why do you think it's an our generation thing that everybody does everything compared to like the older generations that do the same job for 40 years or like don't do all the different things and don't really see it like that?
Who want to take that first? Because I got a book on this one.
Somebody who heard you. Like,
Go ahead.
I feel like
No, you
gotta
got
be
it. Go
quicker
ahead.
than that. I feel like a lot of our we saw a lot of our parents and like that generation kind of grow up unhappy, or at least I feel like I did. Like they had their jobs and things were taken care of for the most part. Like people struggle. At least like my family did. It was from the hood, but you had your one job. You at least had benefits, so the kids had insurance or like school clothes, little things like that. So I feel like a lot of the generations we watched, they were surviving. So it was just they had to get a job, keep a job because they got a family to feed. But our generation don't really got that many kids. Like, people got kids, but once you beat teen pregnancy, like, you know, it's not, they're not having kids and going off and getting married and starting families and doing things like that. I feel like our generation is a little more free, I guess, free to explore.
Do what you think.
I think chapter 1 facts. I think I agree with what you had already said about survival, but I believe that a lot of the older generation stopped being learners or looking at themselves as students. And I don't mean academically in a classroom, just in general, stopped learning. And when you stop learning, whether it's something that you're passionate about or something that you're interested in, you got to stay in a box. You got to stay there. And I feel like we look at life and realize like there is so much more to life than just a cubicle or your same routine, whatever it is that you've been doing to get your family by or to provide for them. It's more than just that. I also feel like that is one of the pros of social media. Even if you are from wherever you from, you can always see like, yo, it's more than just my neighborhood. It's more than just my block. It's more than just my society out here. And I feel like we realize that not only do we not want to do the same thing for 20 years and be unhappy, but that like I can do this, and if this is cool and fulfilling for 5 years, then cool. If I want to move on to something else, cool. Yeah. We just don't have that fear that way. And I think it's because we seen our parents like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Sahnaiyyah, that's why I think it's so crazy what you did. Like you knew that wasn't for you, and you stood on it and got right to it, though, and used the same skill set that you had developed from before and using it in reality in a different way. You see what I'm saying? You feel like you ever was outside of your comfort zone when you know, took this move, though?
Yeah, I'm outside of my comfort zone right now.
Ready?
I feel like, you know, I'm outside of my comfort zone a lot. Whether that's embarking on a new endeavor, like, and I'm trying something that I never tried before, or I'm meeting people that I don't know, like, I'm outside of my comfort zone, but outside of your comfort zone is where you see the most growth. And at the end of the day, like, that's what it's all about. So I'm going to continue to be outside of my comfort zone.
Do you be reading books?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it seemed like you be reading books. I ain't gonna lie. Like, so, and which one of your roles though do you feel like you had like an experience that was like, yo, this is a little uncomfortable for me. I might not know how to do this all the way. I need to study.
That's a great question. I would definitely say like when I first got into real estate, like everybody think that when you get into real estate, it's just gonna take off just like this, like, and it's really not. Like, I'm a pretty shy person. Like, I know it probably don't seem like I'm shy right now, but like I'm pretty shy, and like even with all my like everything that I do, down to the nonprofit that I'm involved in, down to being Wolf's personal assistant, it allows me to be super social. Like, and I don't feel like I'm a super social person. Like, I like to stay to myself, but it requires you to network. It requires you to meet new people. Like, it requires you to be in rooms that you've never been in before. So, yeah, like I definitely would say that.
I feel like, I definitely agree that there's no growth when you in your comfort zone. You feel what I'm saying? So clearly you stepping out, because right now you carrying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had no clue
Seriously, at all
about any of the things that you told us so far. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like you clearly learn how to adapt to being in that role
instantly.
Y'all should have saw me before I got on camera. I'm like,
nah, you good. I mean, literally what you saying is like, this is what I embody. This is what I do. Something new. All right, I'm gonna learn it. I'm good to go.
You rolling with the punches.
Seriously. But with what we was already talking about, like all of your different roles, what would you say has been one of your toughest challenges or your hardest task so far in doing all of these things simultaneously?
Can I be completely honest with you?
Absolutely. That's what we want.
My mental health. Like, and it honestly has nothing to do with the roles that I embody right now. Like, it's just something that I'm going through right now that I'm learning to deal with, and that's why I feel like it's so relevant to actually touch on right now. Growing up, like, I experienced a lot of traumatic situations that I never really allowed myself to go through, because, like, coming from where I come from, you just don't have time to. Like, it's like, if I let this consume me, I can't make things happen. Like, so I gotta push this shit to the back of my mind and I gotta get back to work. Like, you just gotta keep going. But the thing about that is, like, it'll always catch up to you. Like, it's inevitable. Like, so it got to a point where I'm like, I gotta step back from real estate. Like, I gotta take a step back from business. Like, I gotta take a step back from being involved with my nonprofit. I can't continue to show up and be this person that everybody else needs to be, like, needs me to be. I need to learn how to show up for myself now. Like,
Right.
And I just was like grateful enough to have like people, even in the world of business, like who loved me enough and who gave me that grace, like in that time to really get myself together. So shout out to like my clients, shout out to Wolf and the whole Wolf Network team, and shout out to my nonprofit for even like giving me this like grace and this time to like really get myself together, like when I needed to.
Yeah, because one of the things I was thinking when we looked at everything that you do, I was like, you juggle so much. Oftentimes, the person that is looked at as the top, they delegate. But it's like for the person that's making sure that I don't got to bother the top with this, I'm just going to handle it. I'm handling this, I'm handling that. How do you do it? Who do you delegate to? Who do you lean on? So hearing that, I think is actually an important component, because it's like everybody has to take care of themselves at the same time.
For sure.
Also, even going back to what we were talking about with the parents' generation, they didn't have like a business model or an environment around them that would be understanding of their mental health. Because I'm sure they had problems too. Like, you know, we can't really talk about it though, especially as Black people. We kind of got to push to the back and keep going. And I like that that's an option for us now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like you can take a step to check on your mental health, and like your business and your school environment, even like your friendships and some family members now, they are understanding and supportive.
Right.
I totally agree. Even just being conscious, like just being conscious of, I have to take this time, or like this is a serious situation that I can't keep pushing to the side, because that's how worse things happen. That's how things develop. And for real, that's how trauma get passed down.
Yeah.
Because if you push it to the side long enough and you had some kids, or you don't even have some kids, you teach some kids, you just affect somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's how the cycle keep going. So definitely salute to you for being conscious like that and aware.
Yeah.
To know that, you know, that's what's necessary.
Yeah.
The other crazy part is, once again, nobody could never tell. You feel what I'm saying? When I met you at the rec drawing, the way you spoke was so graceful. Like everything was right on point. I'm like, she really know what she's talking about. Like she really got something to say. Like,
It's crazy because I was so close to not even coming to that event. Like, and it's just like, I'm just like, my energy is just not there. But I'm so glad that I came, because like being able to hear Wallow speak, I think that's exactly what I needed. Like he spoke directly to me, and I'm like, I'm so glad I came, because had I not went, like I wouldn't have got that.
Yeah.
So I was glad that I went.
Yeah, I'm glad you came too.
No, for sure.
All right, it was a great experience. So out of all your roles, what do you feel like has been your hardest task? Like the thing that was most difficult?
The thing that was most difficult. That's a great question.
To you. You know what I'm saying?
The thing that's been the most difficult.
You know what that mean? That mean I carry all of it.
That's what I'm saying. That's all equally as difficult. Ain't nothing easy.
I feel like I kind of touched on it, just like really really trying to take care of myself.
Yeah.
Other than that, I feel like I pretty much do a pretty good job, especially because all of the things that I do are in alignment with each other. They all tie into each other some kind of way, so it's not really like too much going on. For real.
Like jumping from thing to thing is that crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are there any like specific lessons that you've taken from maybe realizing that you need to take care of yourself, that you keep in your mind going forward?
Always put myself first.
Yeah.
I feel like for a long time, I always put everybody else first. Showing up when everybody else needed me to, putting everybody else's needs and wants before mine. Like, and you see that with like me deciding to go to college, knowing damn well I didn't want to go before.
That was me.
Before even like submitting the applications, like. But just knowing how to say no, knowing how to set like those boundaries and to stand on them Jones, and just continuing to show up for myself and put myself first.
So I was just gonna ask a question for the floor. Basically, keeping in mind what we already been discussing, like how do y'all feel like you maintain a good work-life balance with everything going on in life, and then maybe at work? What do y'all do?
I would say definitely just setting clear boundaries. Like if you say that you're not going to work past 6 o'clock, don't pick up your phone, your work phone. Don't do anything work related after 6 o'clock. If you say you're not going to work on certain days, don't work on certain days. And just really having like a schedule, for real, for real.
Yeah. I would say balance and an outlet. Like I'm one of those people. I like to have activities, like, you know, or else I'm gonna just go to work. I need something else besides work, or else I'll be like there all day, just, you know, just cause finding something to do at work. So I feel like you need like a outside activity, whether you write or you read, or spending time with your family. I love to cook with my cousins. Like that's something that we do a lot, and that's kind of like a good, like I get quality time and I'm doing something useful. I guess. So I feel like you need a balance and an outlet.
I got a whole. First of all, shout out to you for making us your outlet. You know what I'm saying? Your little hobby on the side. I really appreciate that. The winners culture appreciate you.
I do what I can.
You see what I'm saying? But
I do what I can for y'all.
I got a little morning routine I'll be doing that it consists of exercise and like meditation and reading. And by doing that like consistently, it only take like 30 to 40 minutes. But like it really helped balance the rest of everything out. And it helps me find a place like in myself where I got like peace of mind even when it's chaotic, because sometimes a lot be going on. And sometimes it feel like I really can't stop. Like I don't have an option of just stopping because it got to keep going. Something got to keep going. So it's like just taking that like hour or 40 minutes to myself really help me stay grounded.
I feel that.
Also make sure you're enjoying what you're doing so that it doesn't have to feel like a work/life balance. Like my job is my life in a sense. Like my career is my life in a sense. It's not the only part of my life, but it is my life. So I enjoy it even when it is hectic and things are chaotic, or I just simply don't want to do it. It's like, all right, but I do love it. And, you know, I love my clients and I love, you know, everyone involved. So you do it anyway. Because sometimes you can't, even with a work-life balance, no matter how much stretching or outlets and activities you have, you still just don't want to work. Right. You got to do it anyway. So if you do what you love, you know, or have some type of love for it, you can still push through, like, effectively.
That's a fact. I definitely would agree with that, too. Because when I think about it, all of the things, I think I live a very passion-fueled life. I kind of just do what I want. So, like, because I'm in that, that's why I feel like it never, that's why I feel like it never stopped, though. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm the one who started it. So I can't, you feel what I'm saying? Like, that's not how it go. But yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I agree with everything y'all said.
So I feel like, Sahnaiyyah, so you do a lot of things, right? So what have been some of your most memorable moments from, and it could be across the scope of all of the things you do, but to you, what's some of your more memorable moments?
I'm gonna try to touch on a little bit of everything.
Okay.
So definitely my first time at the closing table, which was actually in June of this year. So that's definitely
congratulations.
One of my most memorable moments. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of my most memorable moments is actually being able to carry out and execute my first ever annual Support for Tomorrow event, which was a community event where we gave back to the homeless. We had people out there giving out free haircuts. We give out free food, care packages, clothes, sneakers, like everything that they would need. Like we pretty much gave out. So big shout out to YCMB and the CEO of our nonprofit organization, Malaj Robinson. And lastly, just continuously being able to meet influential people, especially like so soon. I didn't think that I would meet some of the people that I've met thus far, like as soon as I did. So, I think those are like some of my most memorable moments.
Okay, so when you first got into to everything, right? You had a purpose. You had something that you set out to do. What did you expect to gain from the endeavors that you got involved in? Like, what were you trying to learn?
Right. So to be completely honest, like I don't think I had any clear expectations coming into business. I got my real estate license at 19. So it's like, okay, I know that this is what I want to do and I want to be successful at it, whatever that may look like, but I didn't have any clear like expectations. But I think thus far, like what I've actually learned is just the importance of like networking, building meaningful relationships, and just always staying a student to the game. Yeah.
I feel that. When for the especially for the young college students, because I know when I was in college, I ain't know which way to go. Give it a bean. So
Why y'all laughing?
We all went to school together.
All in it together.
And it was,
lost.
we did not have the courage you had to
that's what
sit
I'm
our
saying.
parents down and be like, listen, this ain't it. So we stayed there and we got that
And
debt.
completed it.
We got
right.
them
got
degrees
that,
though,
yeah.
but you know, we got that debt and we.
I'm gonna keep it
You
a
know?
bean though. I had a blast.
You
But
was,
that's
you was
what-
there playing.
wait.
He was in college playing.
But that's what people.
10
But that's
years
what people say though. Like they say, like college.
I don't know what they talking
He
about.
was there 10 years playing. Me and Daryl was in the trenches working. He was playing.
No, but that's what they say. Is they say it's for the social experience though.
That is
like
that's what I learned. See, where I feel like where people get it effed up at is you came to college thinking that this was going to be how you get it, like, you know, the stepping stool to something. This is how you get in debt.
That's how they
You see what I'm
present it
saying?
to us.
I'm gonna keep it real. This is how you get in
They
debt.
present it to us that way though. Like this is the stepping stool to a bright future.
No, for real. And I understand it. And that's why I understand why you came to school thinking it. Why are you spending your time in the library? You see
So
what
wait,
I'm
I
saying?
kind of got a question now. Like, I guess to touch on like the question that y'all had asked earlier about like the younger generations today, like being more involved in different things. Like, why do y'all feel like the older generations felt like school was like the only way? Like,
Because that's why I said I got a book on it. Chapter 2.
I didn't think we was gonna get to chapter 2 of this
Listen here.
episode. Let's
Chapter
enjoy it.
2. Exactly what you was speaking about. They didn't get the chance to do it.
right?
So a heavy portion is like that's all they were told. That was the ticket that was
It's
sold
fantasy.
to them.
They didn't even
It's like
go.
you didn't get to do
You
it.
don't even know.
Right.
But it's
I
like
feel
to
that.
them, like if they've been at this same job 20 years, pension, that's what they're accustomed to. They see the education as the ticket. They don't know nothing else. They ain't had the time to experience, explore, or learn something else. Because by the time I do that and invest energy into that, I got this bill past due, this bill due, and this child hungry. I don't got the time to even think about that.
Right.
And I think putting all of those factors into play is why they just looked at education like, yo, that's the key. That's it. And not that it's not a key. It is a tool, but I would not encourage nobody to go unless they had that plan.
And college
Right.
isn't the only education.
It's
you
not.
learn it as you get older. Like you learn from so many different people, so many different ventures.
Exactly.
Like, you don't have to go to
Exactly.
a university.
And I feel like in this moment is when I want to give a shout out to my pop, because my pop actually did graduate from school. So he let me know first semester that you not the purpose of you being there is to network and have fun. You see what I'm saying? so
I believe it,
1,000%.
Shout out to Pops.
my dad pledged his first semester or second semester. He was a freshman when he pledged.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? Like, he didn't waste no time. So he told me, don't waste no time. Like, you know, people going to be in there going to the library. You go to the party and make friends.
Y'all killing me over here.
I think I'm playing.
You had to see it.
And you feel what I'm saying? And he was right. Because no matter what my GPA was, my homie who I could call can give me a job tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? If I needed one.
Yeah,
that's
is the truth.
How I got almost everything I ever got was through qualification. One, I did have to work and do some studying, but then I knew somebody. And you know how I knew somebody?
From them parties.
We was in a party together. You see what I'm saying?
Tell us about them parties.
No, we
Tell
on
Different
us.
episode.
What's the next question
Yeah,
on
that's
this joint?
that's a
They
Patreon.
always want to skip past what happened at them parties. They don't never want to tell me what happened.
So Sahnaiyyah, like when you was seeking out your opportunities for growth, like what did you look for?
For sure. So definitely looking for something that's in alignment with who I am, with my purpose, with what I'm striving to do, and something that I can like be of value to, and something that can also be of value to me. I feel like oftentimes like everything that glitters isn't gold. Like you're gonna be presented with a lot of opportunities that seem like that one in a lifetime opportunity.
Right.
Like, and you gotta really be able to sit down and decipher like, okay, is this do I wanna like deviate from what I'm doing, like and go over here and do this, or do I wanna like stay down and stay focused and continue on this path that I'm on to becoming like who I'm trying to be.
Yeah, that was a great answer, and I feel like one key thing that you said was something that can be of value
To you,
and you could be exactly. And I feel like a lot of people look for
way.
things that help them You feel what I'm saying? But they don't
Right.
see what they can bring value to, or like know, or even conscious enough to say, how can I be in this space and be somebody valuable? You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
I learned like that's how you really like successfully network. Like
Mutually beneficial.
it's not oh let me take this pic real quick, post it up, and
Nope.
you mean like it's how can I be of value to you?
Yeah.
Like what can I do for
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Like real rap.
That exactly. And then the other part that I took from it, like, was what you said about having a discernment to sit down and realize what's for you and what's not.
Exactly.
Because also, I feel like when you invest yourself into something that wasn't for you to begin with, you don't give it all of your effort, and then that's a bad rep on you, your character, and everything that you're working towards too. So it could be equally detrimental.
That's a great point.
Yep, for
That's
sure.
a great point. Your heart not in the same. All right, well, we about to wrap this joint up. So for all of the young black women like yourself, you see what I'm saying, who's trying to do something and trying to build up that courage to be the person that they are, what advice would you give them?
So I actually took some notes on this.
Go
Hold on.
ahead.
And this what we
Chapter
needed, too.
3.
Because I got a couple gems I want to drop. So the first two is actually tips that I got from my mentor. They might not like be in direct correlation with the question that you just asked, but these are just some gems that I want to drop. So the first thing that he told me is to never mix business with personal. The second thing is to always stay exclusive. Like, I think when you're on your journey, like, you're going to be in a lot of rooms with a lot of people who are in position, like, and they not scared to, like, holler, shoot they shot, like, whatever you want to call it. And if you want to be respected, like, and if you want to be taken serious, like, you got to remain exclusive and non-accessible. So those was the two things that my mentor,
Especially as a woman.
yeah. The third thing would be get a mentor, and stay a student in your craft. There's always more to learn, and always room for more growth, and whatever it is that you're pursuing. And then the last but not least, I just say stay focused, stay committed, stay true to yourself, and believe in the power of God. So, yeah. Those the gems I'm going to drop for today.
Man,
you
forget the
might have-
unprofessionalism and the clapping. I'm clapping. For that, you feel me?
You better go ahead, girl. That was fire for real. All right.
Appreciate y'all.
No, we appreciate you. Appreciate you coming by, getting out of your comfort zone to sit with us.
Because we can never tell. We've been busting it up
Straight up, this
time.
whole
No,
time.
for sure.
Straight up. But
For
no,
sure.
we definitely appreciate you for coming through. Just for anybody that want to support you, anybody want to find you, where can they find you, the nonprofit? Where can they find you at on any of your socials?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at Sahnaiyyah. That's SAHNAIYYAH. Also, feel free to follow the Wolf Network page. That's Wolf Network WSE. And follow my nonprofit is YCMB__. And yeah, man, thanks for having me.
Again, thank you for coming. Make sure y'all follow the studio page as well, Studio 524. Thanks out to them always. Shout out to them for producing the podcast. Jamie, where can they find you at?
It's just JJ.
And then Blondie, where can they find you at?
Y'all can find me at Blondie.
And y'all can find me at Just Daryl. 1 R, 1 Y, 1 L. You know what I'm saying? And follow the Winners Culture. Share this with your mom, your aunt, your grandmom, your sister, your cousin. Till next time, we out.
I'll let you.
Peace.